So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you really quick my personal setup because I think that it's helpful to actually have like those examples. So this is my Clockwork and Cursive HQ. And right now I just have quick links on it because I'm working in a bunch of different boards. So my project tracker, so if I click on that, that brings up projects and tasks, which this is my kind of in waiting board right now. In each of these client names, you can create like subsettings under each of them. So for example, in here I have the client and project name, and then there's a page for setup for the service agreement, what the deliverables are, assets, notes, issues or bottlenecks. And this is something that I can then link like those issues and bottlenecks over to the team space page. So as a quick link so folks can see if there's areas that are kind of holding people up. So this is set up for I don't want to say this is my dummy board, but it's my dummy board. So this is
Mhm.
as I was playing with things. So like I said, with this, I can actually put like our service agreement right in here and have all this information. And then any tasks that I want to have added for this service agreement, like getting the service agreement and doing all that. If I put all this stuff in here, it'll add the tasks down below. Because if you scroll down here, you'll see there'll be there's a task list here and it's blank. So as things get added into here, they come down here as tasks, and then I can have it sorted by project. So it'll say something like client one, not started, to do for me, due, priority, and then what it is. So I know all the individual steps in there. And then
Okay.
on the client portal, I can put in these gallery bits here, like this one. If I open this up, this would be the project scope documents. So you can actually upload the document right to it and have a list of anything that's due with a check mark next to it of, signatures you need or anything like that. Pop it all right in there. Really just helps to keep that information in one place. And this would be the page that you can actually share with your client as well, so that they can
Okay.
come in here and they can look at this and be like, okay, you know, this is they know how to contact you. They can look at any of these documents. They can see, when you have meetings scheduled, and then you can add your meeting notes. Especially since I have mine connected to my Google Meet. I have it connected to my Zoom account too, but it'll actually put like the transcription of the notes like right in there. Very helpful. The other area that I spend a lot of time in is my CRM. So it's my customer management, client management, however you want to say it. This one is set up so that I know how many people I've talked to, how many hands I've touched, so to speak, communications that have been sent out, companies, deals, communications, all of that. So like I have various different contacts here. I have various different companies. I have them set up under prospects or warm leads, cold leads, that kind of a thing. That's how I use that to keep track of clients that I am actively pursuing. Now, social media tracker planner, I know a lot of the students are in that social media outreach phase. So this is my social media tracker. And I'm using a couple of different things here. So this up here is the gallery view on that. And each of these pictures is also something that I can click on that I can put in my topics, I guess would be the best topics and what kind of things I can talk about. And I put those right into the gallery picture. And then down here, right now I have this in calendar view because I find that's very helpful to set up to make sure I've got things that are going out at the same times or at the right cadence. But then you can also look at it in a just straight up post view. Now, this is where my OCD and hyper organization is showing. Please do not think you have to do it this way. But for 2025, I have my Q3. And then for August, for example, I can show, I got to change those down to publish, but I could see what was published, what series they belong to based on, these are my content pillars up here at the top. And then the audience reaction I'm trying to get, and this is based on one of the Prospology classes, and then the actual posts. So this helps me to keep track of what those posts are. Very helpful if you're repurposing content. And then social platform metrics, this is just the way that I am tracking each post, how well it did or didn't do. Now, I've got it set up so that when I put a post on this calendar, it automatically drops it down into here and is linked to there. And it's very easy to do. When you go and, for example, open a post, you can actually do a parent item, and then you can do a link to on this, right in this area. If you're doing things for your business too, there where you're trying to keep track of like your goals, this is like my quarterly review board where I have something every quarter that I go through and I take a week and I just go through and figure out if I'm still doing things the way that I want to. And then it's always good to have like an annual review at the end. Now, this annual review was a template, and I am still in the process of updating it. I really like this one because it actually came with like a link to a Spotify playlist, which makes me happy. So this kind of will help you at the end of the year kind of figure out where you're at and then where you need to go. But there are so many different templates. I can't even tell you how many are in here that you can use for anything. And there's a lot of ones that are for, like your personal mindset, because I know we deal and talk a lot about that in Prospology to get our mindset, wrapped around our business in the proper way. So there's a lot you can do here.